Let's have a conversation. If I'm to ask you, what is the easiest and most convenient way to interact with people online without you having to spend a dime? Now, while you're thinking of your answer, I would say audio events because I feel like audio events are the way to go. And in this episode, we will be talking about why you should consider audio events to improve your brand visibility. Let's get started. Welcome to the DFY show, where we empower entrepreneurs, professionals, and business owners with valuable resources to accelerate your growth and unlock your full potential. I'm your host, Damilola Felicia Badmus, and in each episode, we will dive into the strategies, insights, and success stories that drive personal and business growth. Whether you're looking to level up your branding, master marketing techniques, or embrace entrepreneurship, the DFY show is your one-stop destination for inspiration and knowledge. So grab your pen and papers and let's dive in. A big thank you to each and every one of you that have been downloading and resharing my podcast so far. This is the episode 5, and to be honest, we are doing incredibly well, and this would not have been possible without you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing with people. Thank you for interacting with this content on LinkedIn, on Instagram. It wouldn't have been possible without you. I'll say that again. So thank you, everyone. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about LinkedIn audio events. Yes, LinkedIn audio events. Personally, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn audio event because of various reasons, and that is why we are going to be having this conversation in today's episode. Now, in case you're wondering, okay, what is LinkedIn audio event? Now, LinkedIn audio events are real-time audio-only conversations that are designed to help you build relationships and also foster connections with your audience. So you know that we have different content types on LinkedIn. We have the poll, we have the short form post, we have the text, we have the picture format. We also have LinkedIn video. That kind of event is done via video. But the thing about LinkedIn video events, which we call live, by the way, is that you have to connect with a third-party tool, such as WeStream, StreamYard, so you really can schedule LinkedIn video events directly on LinkedIn. But for LinkedIn audio events, the beauty about it is that you can schedule it on your phone. In fact, you don't even need too many technicalities. You just have to use you can use your mobile phone. You can also use your laptop or your PC. So I think that LinkedIn audio events are fantastic if you want to communicate with your audience directly via audio. If you don't want to worry about, having the best camera, having the best background, LinkedIn audio event can really be an incredible way to connect with your audience. Now, LinkedIn audio events are sort of a flexible and informal way. So it's a way for you to relax, let your audience know you better. You don't have to be so perfect. Yes, professionalism has to be there, but it's just a way for you to just unwind with your audience. You don't have to be too extra serious like you do via your text post. And in this episode, like I said earlier, we are going to be diving into the benefit. Now, before we talk about the benefit, how do LinkedIn audio events work? Now, for you to get access to create and host events, you or your company needs to have more than 150 followers. And also, you need to have your creator mode turned on. And if you're wondering, what is creator mode? This kind of mode, it's a part of your LinkedIn feature that allows you to do so many things like create events. It also helps you to have like the featured session on your profile, and it gives you access to incredible things like if you don't want people to connect with you directly, they can easily follow you. And probably later in this podcast, I might just touch on Creator 2, maybe in one of the episodes. Now, how are these audio events like what are the benefits? Now, number one benefit of why you should consider LinkedIn audio events is that it allows you to interact with your audience. Now, we know that communication is key, and I feel like audio events allows you to connect with your audience in a personal and direct way. I have met a sister, I'll consider a sister on LinkedIn audio events. So how did they happen? I was just, having a conversation with people, then she raised her hand to ask a question and to communicate as well, to just touch and contribute on the topic. And lo and behold, a first name and a last name are my names. And so I told her about that, and after the event, she sent me a DM. We talked on phone. We were talking like we've known each other for years, and that's because the name factor sort of resonated with both of us. And she also gave her feedback on how she enjoyed the show and how she really liked how the whole feel went. And because of that single connection, we are friends to date. So audio events are really a great way to express yourself, to connect to your audience, because that personal touch, imagine you're just doing text only all of the time. By the time your audience, maybe it's time for you to tell your audience something, or maybe just share the wonderful information with them. Imagine you just creating a LinkedIn audio event and they're hearing your voice for the first time and they're asking you question in real life, because some of them might not have access to your direct mobile in case they want to call you. So connecting with your audience is the way to go, and this can be really done via LinkedIn audio events. Another benefit of why you should consider LinkedIn audio events is that it has a global reach. Now, most of my podcasts, I'm not going to lie, I have various audiences back to back. The last audio event that I did, I had somebody joining from Jerusalem, I had somebody joining from United Arab Emirates, I had somebody joining from Canada, I had somebody joining from India, I had somebody joining from Pakistan. So many people get to connect with this audio event. This is the gist. Now, because LinkedIn audio events are on the platform, so some people are looking for ways to interact. So some people tend to just scroll through different audio events that are coming up on LinkedIn. And if they see that the topic that is going to be talked about is going to be interesting, all they just have to do is just click join. They add to their calendar. And when it's time for the event, they will just come to your event, and that's how the event gets to start. Also, if you're connected with different people from different countries, because they are part of your connections, immediately you are live. LinkedIn is going to notify them that, okay, Damilola Badmus is live. And if they are probably less busy, they can just join and then the interaction starts. So global reach is a very good way, because imagine you have people from different countries and then you tend to tell them whatever your podcast is all about, or you're trying to pitch your product or service to them. Having a wider range of audience can enable your brand scale higher, and it can also make your brand reach more local or international markets. Now, another point we can say is multitasking accessibility. So what do I mean? We know that LinkedIn audio, we know that a lot of people are consumed with different things, in as much as, okay, somebody can just scroll through your content on LinkedIn. Other people might not be able to do that because they are really busy with work. So LinkedIn audio can allow your audience listen to you if they have no time to read your content. And also remember that LinkedIn audio is more like a podcast, so anybody listening can be multitasking at the same time. Someone can be driving and then they can just tune in to listen to your audio event. Somebody might be at the gym, somebody might be at the kitchen. Personally, when I'm trying to get busy, either at home or maybe cooking, working, or just a little bit less busy, I just search for audio events on LinkedIn. I tend to listen while I'm doing other things as well. So this option allows you to tap into your audiences that have never seen your content before or are connected with you. Another reason why you should consider LinkedIn audio events is that it allows you to showcase your expertise. Now, we know that sharing your insight and sharing your expertise with people in another way can be quite interesting. So I talk about branding a lot, and when I start my audio events, I tend to share more knowledge about it, and that way people tend to see me as an industry expert because you really can't say much about something that you do not know, right? Imagine I start talking about content that has to do with medicine or has to do with project management. If I start talking about it, I'm definitely going to flop because it is not my niche. For me, how coming up to you and in front of like 80 people, 110 people, 150 people, and having a conversation on branding, they will definitely see you as an expert. And that is how people tend to see me on LinkedIn. Another reason why, or another benefit that you can have from creating audio events is that it helps you to demonstrate your communication skills. Now, I'm going to dwell here a little bit. Now, we know that public speaking can never be done in a day, right? When you hear MCs, when you hear compers say how they started out and how they became very fluent, many of them would say through practice. An audio event is a very good way to demonstrate your communication skills. I can do podcasts very well now because I started with audio events. And audio event is even more tricky because you are live. Now for podcasts, when I do some errors or when I make some errors, I can easily cut them out. But for LinkedIn audio, you can filter whatever it is that you say. So when you speak to people, they are listening to you. And that way, by the time you have that consciousness, you tend to know the words you're saying, you tend to reduce the M's, the R, the filler words, and these can help your communication skills because by the time you know that a lot of people are listening to you, you tend to do a lot of work back end, which in fact helps you to demonstrate your communication skills. And this way, it can also impact your brand reputation and also your visibility. Another benefit of having audio events is that it helps with content repurposing. Now, you can repurpose your LinkedIn audio content in various formats. Now, let me give you a breakdown of how I tend to repurpose my content. Mine is actually the other way around. For some people, they can just talk about the LinkedIn audio events. Let's say somebody is talking about why you need to take care of your health. And then the person does an audio event that talks about why you should take care of your health. Now, after the person has finished that audio event, the person can sort of give a summary of how that event went on his LinkedIn profile, which number one is a content already. The person can also decide to convert it into a blog. That is another content. The person can also use the same topic and create a video out of it. That is another topic. Now, for me, how I tend to do mine is that this podcast, any of the podcasts that I tend to do, I create a newsletter and I'm still going to be using the same content. But the tweak about it is that I infuse the link of this audio event in the newsletter. And then on a Friday, I tend to publish my podcast every Thursday and also my newsletter. Then on a Friday afternoon or maybe Friday morning, I create a LinkedIn audio event and I tend to switch up the title a little bit. Now on Saturday, I have the same conversation. So that means that I am repurposing this content in 3 different ways. And I'm also going to, in future or maybe in months to come, some of the content that I've done as a podcast and also a newsletter, they also will be going to my website. So that means that you can repurpose your content so that most of the things you say, you don't get to just throw them out of the window. Another way that you can benefit from LinkedIn audio events is that it helps you to highlight your soft skills. Now, what do I mean? Through your tone and your delivery, you can highlight your soft skills like empathy, charisma, active listening, and this can help you to reinforce your brand image. Now, for example, I had an audio event some time back and I had a point of view, more like an opinion on a particular topic. And then when we were having a conversation, a lot of people started having their own views and their own ideas, ideology on what they have about a pending topic. And what did that teach me? Number one, it taught me to always listen. When I tend to pay attention to the fact that, okay, everyone has their point of view and you don't have to reinforce your own ideas on others, that made me more empathetic, and that also gave me an open mind. And also, it also helped me to see that it's quite interesting if you pay attention to listen to other people. So soft skills like empathy, soft skills like active listening, soft skills like having a good sense of humor can really help you in shaping your brand. Another bonus point that I would also give is that audio events differentiate you from your competitors, because a lot of us are more of text only posts, video only posts, but having a fuse of audio events into your content, because audio events is another type of content, it can help your audience relate with you better, and it can also make you more memorable in your industry. Now that we've spoken about audio events, what are some of the best practices for hosting a successful audio event, whether you're a beginner or you are an expert? Number one is to plan your content. Now, like they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you need to plan your content in order for you to have a smooth ride. So what you have to do is you need to outline the topics you want to cover during your event. You also have to have a clear objective or a theme for the discussion. So what do you want to talk about? Would you just go for your audio event and not having anything to talk about? For me, if I want to have an event, I write everything that I want to say, not really write it down per se, but sort of have an arrangement. Say, for example, I have an introduction, I have news updates, I have topic one, I have question one, I have like a short break, I also have various things, and I also have close the event. So when you outline these topics, it sort of help you to know where you are going. Another way that you can also make your event successful is that you can promote your event. That means you announce your events to attract attendees. You can also use engaging captions and visuals to create interest. So what do? I make use of Canva, and I also work with a graphics designer. Before I started working with the graphics designer, I just went to Canva, looked for a template, created it with my brand color, and then it was good to go. So you can announce your audio events, let your audience know what is happening. And LinkedIn also gives you the opportunity to invite your connection. So you can always invite your connection to attend your event. Another best practice is that audio quality really matters. So because audio can really make or break your event, just like you say, video can make or break whatever visuals you're trying to create. So use headphones or a good quality microphone to ensure clear audio. Choose a quiet and well-lit space to also minimize background noise. Another way is that you can engage your audience, because when you keep talking all through, you tend to bore your audience. So ask your audience questions, encourage interaction. Mention and also thank your participants and mention their name to just sort of make them feel involved and to make your conversation personal. Be a moderator, so you don't have to, even while you ask people questions, you don't really have to be all over them. Allow them to speak. After all, you are the one that invited them to come for your event. So keep your conversation flowing smoothly. If somebody is talking too much and you feel like the person is not really relevant, the person's conversation is not relevant to the topic and ground, you can just try to look for a way to cut the person off and also give the room for people to speak. And if you feel like you do not have more time, let your audience know that, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, there's no more time for us to entertain more questions. And also, you need to prepare speaking points. So you should have your key point or questions that will help you shape your conversation. So it's not going to be when you're speaking that you're going to start scratching your head to say, what was the question? Prepare ahead of time. Avoid reading scripts so that it doesn't feel like, okay, you're just reading directly. In as much as script is very advisable, but just try to ensure that the conversation flows smoothly. Time management. When you say your event is 1 hour, you shouldn't be using 2 hours. In as much as, yes, some conversations can exceed maybe 10 minutes, let your audience know that, okay, this is why you're exceeding this time, but you're not going to pass a particular time that you set. I noticed this thing, and it has worked for me, because when people see that you keep to time, they would want to come back for your events because they feel like, okay, this person is disciplined and this person is not talking off point. You also need to manage technical issues. That means that it's not when it's like 2 minutes to the event that you're now noticing your laptop is having problems. You're now noticing that, oh, your laptop is not well charged or your phone is not well charged. You need to manage your technical issues before the event. So familiarize yourself with the LinkedIn platform. How does it work? So that even if you're having your audio event for the first time, don't take this particular session likely, because it can really make you disorganized if you do not have all of this set up. And also, you can engage beyond the event. You can continue your conversation by sending follow-up messages, connecting with your attendees, and appreciating people. A lot of people do that to me, and I think that is quite interesting that when people attend your events, just let them know that you notice them, and then you can just send them a thank you message. And above all, learn to improve and also get better, because when you gather feedbacks from your attendees or from people that may be listening to your event or have attended, by the time you ask them, okay, what went wrong? How can I improve? You're also learning to know yourself, and giving yourself an honest feedback can help you to improve in your audio events. So there you have it, everybody. Benefits of audio events and how it can help your brand visibility. And here is a quick recap. Number 1, audio events allows for a more personal and direct connection with your audience. Then audio content can be found by a diverse global audience, and this can also lead to a recognized brand globally. Sharing your insights and expertise through LinkedIn audio can position you as an industry expert. Also, sharing a well-crafted audio content demonstrates your communication skills. So it demonstrates your communication skills and your professionalism, which can positively impact your brand reputation and visibility. Another one is that you can repurpose your LinkedIn audio content into various formats, like we mentioned before, blog posts, videos, or even podcast episode. LinkedIn audio event also sets you apart from your competitors, and it helps you to grow as a person. It helps your communication skills, and it helps you to be a well-known person and also someone of influence. Now, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass that is coming up very soon, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, you can still have access to my book, How LinkedIn Works, Attract Your Target Audience, available on Amazon and Paystack if you're in Nigeria. This book is a game changer because it can help you to learn so much about how to build your brand on LinkedIn. Also, my company, Royal Brand Academy, also offers various services like page management, brand audit, personal branding strategy, one-on-one consultation, and other amazing services that you want that is tailored to your need. And if you think that these services might be right for you, or you're contemplating, should I work with Dami or should I not? How about you head over to royalbrandacademy.com, input your information, and then we would be in touch with you. You can also send me a DM on LinkedIn at Damilola Felicia Badmus. Please follow me on Instagram at Damilola_2_Badmus, or you just type my name, Damilola Felicia Badmus. I also host audio events every Saturday at 4 p.m. where we discuss some of the topics I talk about here on my podcast. Remember, I said something about repurposing your content. And if you're thinking, okay, let me see how Dami gets to do our audio events, then you are welcome to join me. All you have to do is go to my LinkedIn profile. I tend to put up the next audio event that I tend to do every Friday morning or afternoon, or you can just check my profile at 4 p.m. on Saturday to join. I really had an amazing time today. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely sure you had, even if you do not want to say it. A big thank you to you for staying tuned. Thank you for the support. I hope you got value in today's episode, because I sure did. And I will see you in the next episode.